What's going on, guys? Radio Graffiti here, and today I want to talk to you guys about Star Wars The Force Awakens. It's officially been 10 years since the movie came out, so how has it aged? Has it aged poorly? Has it gotten even better? And how did the movie overall do? How do we look on The Force Awakens 10 years later? Well, as far as the box office, the movie made over $2 billion, which is a very exclusive club. Not many movies have been able to accomplish that. As far as the reviews, on IMDb, it has a 7.7 out of 10, and Rotten Tomatoes, it has a 93% critic score and an 84% audience score. So the box office and reviews, all pretty good. Doesn't get much better than that. But how has the movie kind of aged online over time? Well, I think this movie has kind of been tarnished thanks to how controversial The Last Jedi is and Rise of Skywalker. The Last Jedi is literally one of the most controversial sequels probably ever made. So I don't think The Force Awakens really is looked on very fairly. You have two highly controversial movies that came right after this, which isn't really The Force Awakens' fault. One of the popular criticisms of The Force Awakens is that it's basically a repeat of A New Hope. And a lot of people, they don't like Rey. A lot of people cry about Kylo Ren getting beaten at the end of the film. Personally, for me, I like The Force Awakens. I think it's a top 3 Star Wars movie. I think it's actually really good. It has tons of rewatchability. I think they've got a good cast. All the old characters sync in pretty well with the old characters. Got some pretty epic action scenes. All the effects look top notch. Like, nothing looks fake about this movie, even 10 years later. Which is kind of a high bar for movies nowadays where there's so much terrible CGI and green screen. I think, at least in this movie, Rey was a pretty good character. I like how we learned so much about her character just in her introduction, with little to no dialogue. And I think Kylo Ren was pretty badass. I like how they kind of make that Kylo Ren's trying to be like Darth Vader a point in the movie. And also, he looks so fucking cool with his mask on and just his voice. His voice sounds so epic every time he talks. This is probably the best that Finn and Poe were in the entire sequel trilogy. This is before they turned Finn into a joke in The Last Jedi, where he's just literally screaming, "Rey!" in like half his scenes. Also, the ending with Luke Skywalker just chilling at the end, and he just stares at Rey. The music as she hands him the lightsaber is all just so epic and emotional. I like the relationships they kind of build with the new characters and the old. Finn and Rey have a pretty interesting relationship with Han Solo. Lots of fun, sort of family-friendly sort of dialogue back and forth. You won't remember it now because everyone hates this movie, but everyone loved the line where Han Solo was like, "That's not how the Force works." So yeah, there's lots I like about The Force Awakens. I think it's also a pretty fast-paced film. Every time I get to Han Solo's death, it's pretty emotional for me. I can't help but just feel a bad feeling in my stomach, knowing what's about to happen to Han. Even if you can see it coming, I think it's still pretty well done the way they did it. I know a lot of people disagree with that, but that's fine. I think The Force Awakens is extremely overhated. The amount of hate that this movie gets online is absolutely insane. Most rational people at least can come to the conclusion that this is the best of the sequel movies. But it's become kind of popular to bash any Star Wars sequel movie. No one will say anything good about it at all. For some reason they praise the prequels, which are all terrible movies. Revenge of the Sith probably being the less stinky of the shit, but yet still shit. In my opinion, The Force Awakens is a top 3 Star Wars movie. I know it's going to get me a lot of criticism in the comments or, dislikes. That's fine, because a lot of people that hate on The Force Awakens also dick ride Rogue One, which is a painfully boring movie. It's a complete snooze fest. Most entertaining part about it is the third act where Darth Vader shows up and starts wrecking fools. And when all the characters start dying. Jyn Erso is a complete nothing burger of a character. She's so fucking boring. These are also the same people that praise Return of the Jedi, which is good for the Luke and Darth Vader scenes, but outside of that, it's about as dumb and stupid as the prequels. And a lot of people who hate on The Force Awakens are also people who love to pretend Revenge of the Sith is a masterpiece, which it's not. It has a lot of the same problems as the other 2 prequel movies. I mean, it's fine. People can like what they want. Not everyone's gonna agree, but it's kind of one of those things where it's like, your boos mean nothing. I've seen what makes you cheer. So yeah, I don't know. I think The Force Awakens, it gets way too much hate online. I think it's actually a pretty fun, entertaining film, even 10 years later. The Last Jedi and Rise of Skywalker, that's a different story, but just for The Force Awakens, I think they did a good job at setting up a lot of stuff with Rey, Finn, and Poe. Yes, Han Solo died, so they couldn't touch that, but he still had Leia and Luke. And I've seen a lot of people crying, oh, we never got a scene with Luke, Han, and Leia all in one scene. Literally, how at all would that benefit the movie? It's like these guys think, oh, well, the movie was like, a 5 out of 10, but oh, if they had a scene with Luke, Han, and Leia all in one scene, instantly it would have been a 9 out of 10. Like, how does that benefit the movie at all? It would have made absolutely no sense, because Luke's supposed to be missing the entire movie. It would have just been a quick little fan service moment, and that's it. It would have meant nothing for the story. And as far as it being too similar to A New Hope, I don't really care. A New Hope came out a long time ago. It's fine to sort of take a lot of the same beats that made Star Wars great in the first place and apply it to sort of a reboot sequel of Star Wars, They revived Star Wars and brought in a whole bunch of new characters. So I'm fine with it being a little similar to A New Hope. A lot of people love to over-exaggerate how close it is to A New Hope. It's not a fucking shot-by-shot remake or anything. It was just a lot of similar story points. But yeah, I think The Force Awakens works for people like me, I didn't even care about Star Wars until The Force Awakens came out. But then The Force Awakens was so hyped. Like, literally everyone was talking about this movie. I went to go see it in theaters, and I liked it. And that's what got me into Star Wars in the first place. The original trilogy was way before I was born, and I didn't care about the prequels when I was growing up. So when The Force Awakens came out, that's what got me into Star Wars. It's for like newer fans as well. You can't constantly rely on people just being nostalgic for the original trilogy. And I mean, what else could they have done? They can't just tell another movie about Luke, Han, and Leia because they're all way too old. So you had to bring in some fresh, newer characters. So yeah, I like The Force Awakens. I think it's a good movie. But what did you guys think about it? It's been 10 years since The Force Awakens came out in theaters. Let me know what you guys think down in the comment section down below. Do you like it, or do you agree with a lot of other people online that it's aged poorly? How do you feel about it? Let me know in the comments below. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys next time.